All right, ladies and gentlemen, what's up? Welcome to Bali Unplugged, your local guide to understanding the Bali business landscape, from tourism, property, experiences, and everything else you need to know coming to Indonesia. And today we have Michael Full of 3D Scans. Michael, welcome to the podcast.
Hey, good morning, Chris. Thanks for having me.
Ladies and gentlemen, I met Michael at Speak Up Monday at Rob Bonnick's event, and he had such a great vibe. And yeah, so let's get started with, a little bit about your story. What was it like for you growing up wherever in your part of the world?
Chris, thanks for asking. I've been growing up in Germany. I've been born in Germany, in the center of Germany, and I've been grown up in Franconia, in a small village, 25,000 people. For us, it was a quite nice childhood because I was not related to city life. We had the woods to go out and play soccer, be kids, just running around, having a good time. Then I've been moving to Hamburg when I've been 23 with my wife to go for studies at the university in Hamburg. And I loved Hamburg. Hamburg was a great city, or still is a great city to live in. Then after 13 years living in Hamburg, we decided that it's time to travel more. So we traveled the world for around 3 years. And we ended up being in Bali in 2016. So we came here when my wife was pregnant, and we realized we need something more stable in our lives. And then we came here with our biggest son at that age, with 11 weeks old.
11 weeks old?
Little bugger, just ready to board the plane. And we arrived in Bali, and we basically never left again.
Wow. So you pretty much fell in love with the island, and you were looking for something new. Why did you pick Bali out of all places?
It was total accident. We've been traveling the world, and Bali was not one of our most beloved places. We have seen Bali in 2010, I think. Yeah, 2010 it was. But both my wife and me, we had not a really good connection to it. We started traveling in Sumatra, very remote. Then we came down to Java, Yogyakarta, and then we had like 10 days here in Bali, and we were quite shocked what was going on the island at that stage. And when Luki was born, my first son, we wanted to leave Germany. That was already clear. We have had no apartment at that time. For us, it was.
Was the motivation for leaving Germany, was that an economic motivation, or was that just a culture motivation?
No. It was purely a lifestyle motivation. I'm a surfer. I love board sports. I started doing skateboarding when I was 15, 14. I've grown up in Franconia. That's like 1.5, 2 hours away from the Alps. So I've been doing snowboarding a lot when I was younger. And I got the surf bug when I was 23 or something. And then obviously surfing in Germany is not the best thing. We don't have any good waves. So we needed to travel. First it was Europe, France, Spain, Portugal, then it was more Morocco, then it was Central America, and then starting just to fly around the world. And I wanted to go to Costa Rica before we came up to Bali. My wife wanted to go to Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
But when our son was born, there was a minor incident where we needed to go to the hospital, and we realized it's not working as we are used to live anymore if you've got family. So you need a certain infrastructure. You need a good hospital nearby, or we wanted to have a good hospital nearby. We wanted to have infrastructure nearby. Yeah. Airports, internet, shopping, schools, like everything you need to feel comfortable. And at the end of the day, there were only 2 places on earth on our list where we would like to go. The first one was Hawaii, the second was Bali. Obviously, Hawaii is financially something totally different. So
does that list also include Costa Rica, or that was just sort of spur of the moment?
No, at that point we already decided that the remote areas are not suitable for our lifestyle anymore. I fell in love with the Caribbean side of Costa Rica, close to the Panamanian border. If something happens there, you need 5 hours by car back to San Jose, where
So that's why you took Costa Rica off your list, because
that's
it
exactly.
was secluded, so to speak.
Yes, exactly. And the same with Sri Lanka. Very beautiful, but you just, if you really need help, it'll take you a while to come back to Colombo. So in here we were like, this is a very well developed island here. That's perfect.
Yeah, and there was
Good
still plenty
service,
of
good weather.
opportunities. And I guess it wasn't as well as it wasn't as overdeveloped as Hawaii.
Well, in 2016, it was, I mean, definitely things changed in the last 8 years. A lot of things changed in the last past years. But there was definitely a lot going on already at that time. I mean, in 2018, 2019, we had the peak before COVID, so it was already quite busy here. Nothing compared to what we've got now, but it was far away from a remote island at that point already.
So yeah, obviously you experienced COVID here. What did you find during, like, what was your experience like during COVID?
For us, COVID was a good time, and I'm sorry to say that, because I know that a lot of people kind of like suffered on the island. Economically, for sure, we rely on tourists and the income from tourist industry. At that stage, I've been already working for a Swiss company as a digital director, and we've been running a small boutique company in Switzerland for digital transformation within the telecommunication sector. And it didn't change anything for me work-wise, because I've been working online and remote from Bali before already. So suddenly the roads were empty, the beaches were empty, and the island took a deep breath. It was, for us, it was quite, it was fascinating to see how fast the island recovered. Just, I mean, imagine having 500,000 people less per month. It gave the island a good opportunity to just take a breath. The rivers got cleaner, the air got better.
Wow.
For us, we could only hear the crazy stories outside of Bali, and here we've been living in kind of like a parallel universe.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It has been crazy. I wasn't here in Bali during that time, but I've heard a lot of stories about like how it completely changed, and like a lot of people were doing it hard, but the island just seemed to recover really, really well compared to a lot of other parts of the world.
It thrived actually. Because it was, I think it was very, very clear during COVID and after COVID that Bali is a good place to live. It's just like how everything comes together. We still had quite a vibrant expat community, and the vibe was good here in Bali. It's beside of a couple of, I think it was like 10 weeks or 12 weeks where beaches were closed, but we've been able to go out, do shopping, have had possibilities of going to restaurants with restrictions for sure, but nothing compared to the story I heard outside from Australia, Europe, States. Far, far away from that. So for us, COVID was a good time for us as a family, nice and quiet. But yeah, no regrets here.
So prior to COVID, I'm going to touch a bit on the financials. Prior to COVID, did you already have like a habit of preparing for, like, did you have like an emergency fund in case something like that happened and it took away a lot of your business? Or was COVID that time where you realized, oh, maybe I should? And then obviously you survived quite well, but did you have a plan in place just in case?
No, to be honest, I think something like COVID was not really foreseeable. Even if we look back, it's crazy what happened with that virus, how fast it spread in the world, and what happened. At that time we had no plan for that, and yes, business suffered. For we definitely lost clients during that time. Financially, yeah, I think a certain financial backup should be in everyone's plan. You shouldn't run on your last couple of dollars. So
6-12 months backup plan. Yeah,
exactly. But that doesn't relate only to COVID. I think it's just a general thing that gives you peace of mind.
That's right.
And a certain financial security. And it doesn't have to be too much money, but just that you know that you're not dry. You can provide food, insurances, housing, whatever, like the basic
Yeah,
needs. Let's say the basic needs.
yeah, the
Yeah,
basics. Yep.
they must be covered for sure.
Of course. Yeah, because I find like in Australia, a lot of Australians don't have that sort of fiscal education to, yeah, I've got to put away money because a lot of the times just money goes in the door and out the door. And for a lot of Australians that I speak to, they just don't understand this concept of like putting away money for the future to be able to be like, okay, just in case something happens, like that security net.
Oh, that's interesting. That's
Yeah.
interesting. No, see, I mean, in the end of the day, I in my whole life, I tended more to trade time versus money.
Yeah.
But I realized pretty fast as well that it's not convenient. Like calculation of money or household money and everything should be in a daily routine and planning. But maybe that's just a German thing.
Well, yeah, I definitely think Germans are quite diligent in what they do. They always seem so very focused, and very, how do you say, passionate about a lot of the things they do. So it was really funny. You mentioned earlier that coming to Bali was like an accident, and I hear this so many times, especially from Europeans, the Dutchies as well as the Germans, and they're like, yeah, it was by complete accident. I took a trip and I fell in love with Bali.
Yeah, but I think that's the way it should be. Often in life, a good way to live life is to go with the flow and don't be too loose with that. Yeah, but let things happen and let things choose you. It makes life way easier and it feels more natural. So I can relate to everyone who's coming to Bali and he's kind of like, wow, that's a good place. I could imagine to live here. We've got a great quality of life here. People are smiling. We've got good weather. We've got tons of like possibilities doing recreational stuff. The island is beautiful. We've got different beaches, 3 coastlines on 3 sides.
Because you can have a sunset and you can have a sunrise.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, we're living the dream here, definitely. And even after being here for a couple of years, there's no place I could imagine where I want to live with my family. It's just it's a good place to live.
Yeah, it is. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. So, Mike, tell me some of the things that you really love to get up to here in Bali. Some of the recreational things. Yeah, obviously, you can't go snowboarding. Well, actually, could you? No, I don't think you could.
No way. That times are over.
Is it climb?
Actually, so if people ask me what do I miss here in Bali, it would be snowboarding. Yes, and I haven't been snowboarding for ages. But well, I treated it for living near the ocean. So during my travels, when we're still located in Germany, all of my travels were coast related, so I always try to have a surf while having vacations, and the ocean is a big source of like recreational energy for me and the family. So we'd like to go down to the beach, but also weekend trips up to the mountains, driving to the Bukit, driving to the Jimbaran area, Nusa Dua, Sanur. That's a good thing in Bali. Like I said before, there's tons of stuff to do. It's not getting boring at all, and still we are exploring so much here. Yeah.
Yeah, the other day I went fishing and it was just a very tranquil experience because I'd gone on boats to different places. I've been to like Nusa Penida and whatnot. We did some snorkeling at this place and it was just off the coast of Gianyar, and I was like, this experience is much better than going to Nusa Penida. As much as I love going to Nusa Penida, the even more localized stuff within Bali just seems so convenient.
Yes, yeah. I agree. And especially the Gianyar area. I mean, we're talking about East Coast here. And for everyone who's not related to Bali, the East Coast is not that developed like the West Coast here, where we're living in the Canggu area, or if you've got Denpasar, Kuta, Seminyak, Canggu. It's quite developed. The roads are hectic. But if you're driving to the East Coast, it's very remote. It's beautiful there.
So, out of all of the places, well, first off, let's tell us whereabouts do you live? You live in Canggu, right?
That's true. Yeah.
Yep. So, why out of all places did you pick Canggu as opposed to Kuta or Seminyak or even Uluwatu or Ubud?
we didn't pick it as well.
It was
So
another accident.
another accident. So when we decided to give Bali a shot, we knew two friends here on the island, and one of them we called, and he was like, "Oh, Mikey, you've got a good timing. I'm leaving in 3 weeks' time to Germany. You can stay in my house for 6 months." And it was like, yeah, wow, great. Give me a day to consider. We booked the flights, and 2.5 weeks later, we flew over to Bali, and we landed in Brava. And after, let's see, like it was been 9 months or something, we just moved across the road into the house we're living in ever since. Yeah, so it's the neighborhood we know. It's where we feel home.
And I assume it sort of felt very convenient as well, because it's so close to the hospitals, and having that infrastructure already established, as opposed to being in a little bit more rural areas of Bali.
Yes, true. Absolutely. I mean, now we've got 2 kids, 2 little boys, 5 and 8, and having the convenience of everything is around you or reachable within, let's say, 20-25 minutes, unbeatable. I mean, even if you're looking into bigger cities worldwide, 20-30 minutes is nothing. You know, you commute by train 45 minutes, 60 minutes exactly. Yeah. So having everything, we're complaining if we're driving an hour, but if we're driving an hour, we are nearly on the Bukit. And that's another world for us, you know. So
yeah. Exactly. It's a complete change of scenery from a beach to like the cold part of the mountains. So
yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Nice. So as you know, as a parent, you know, because a lot of the viewers here, expats or people who are looking to move to Bali, I see a lot of questions have been popping up lately, especially in the group, in regards to being able to move and sorting out education for the children. It's like, oh, will my children have troubles learning Indonesian? You know, they don't want to force their kids learning Indonesian while they also have, you know, school studies. So what are your recommendations, and how do you view this opinion?
Well, first of all, I think that Bali is a great island for kids to raise, and that's not only on the educational side, but it's on the recreational side and on the quality side as well. At least we are here in a place where we can choose to spend time with our kids, which is for parents and kids, I think, one of the most valuable things. I'm actually super happy with the situations in the schools in Bali now. Everyone, I mean, Chris, we've got quite a lot of schools here, curriculums all over the world. My kids are going to a small academy. They're running the Finnish curriculum. But meanwhile, you will find, like, for every gusto, you will find something. If you
sorry, listening on that word. What was that? Every
gusto. Gusto is for every taste. For every taste, you've got something. So some parents want to have their children going 9 to 3 every day to school, very strict, because that they do think that's the best way for the kids. Others want to have it more loose, with more projects and more crafting, more outdoor activity. But you've got fantastic schools here, from Green School to Pro Ed to the Jungle Community School, all over the island. Meanwhile, really good schools and systems are popping up and are established as well. So especially for parents and kids coming here to the island, it's a fantastic place to be. And well, regarding the languages, Chris, those are kids. Yeah, it's for them. It's not like I need to do studies to catch up a language. It's just like they're playing around with friends. There's English mainly in the schools, but they will catch up Bahasa Indonesia anyhow. It's a very natural thing. It's not about pushing the kids into studies.
Yeah, I found like my experience, especially with kids, is that they're so malleable that it's better to introduce languages at a earlier age, just because they're at that development stage where they can absorb it and they can handle like a new change in language.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, see, my boys, we're having we're talking German here in the house, so that's the first language, and I think that's something well, you know, Like it's good to have a mother language, especially if you're outside and you're talking English mostly all of the day. So the kids are growing up with 3 languages, and it will enable them to just be more flexible in the future. If they want to have, they want to learn more languages, they will definitely they will be faster.
Yeah, it's good. It's good opportunities for them, especially them being trilingual. So how do you find them coping with the the language shift, the addition of a third language?
For the kids, it's not really coping. It's something natural, Chris. They're playing around with friends. There's.
Do you find their Bahasa is better than yours?
Well, yeah, no, I don't think so. Because I'm the one who needs to go out doing groceries and stuff. And to be fair enough, they are not speaking fluently Bahasa Indonesia. They do understand something, but it's definitely not their language of choice if they want to communicate. But eventually it will come anyhow, like that's unavoidable. That's why I mean, you don't have to push them. They're little kids. Let them just play, and everything will be like it's a natural thing that you just adapt to the language and the culture you are. And you're just getting in here in Bali, you've got so many influences. It's crazy. You've got so many international. I think in that academy, the kids are going there like 6 or 7 nationalities in there. I mean, that's fantastic. Like there's enough input to come from all sides.
Yeah, it gives them a good stimuli, having all of these things that they can learn from. Mike, have you been to Trans Studio Mall? Where
I've been, yeah.
I think have you, like, where are some good places that you take your kids for, recreation?
Definitely not malls.
you haven't been to what do you call it? The
Trans Studios
at the top?
No, we haven't. We're not. It's not really our style to do that. Like if we've got time with the family, we're more
grounded,
more grounded. See. Just have a bike ride in Sano together as a family, or go into the mountains, drive up to Nyani Beach. We're not we're going sometimes to the malls, yes, but it's nothing where it's like, or it is like a recreational thing to do. It's just like, okay, we need to get XYZ and we need to go to the mall. Well, yeah, okay. But it's not, if we've got free time, we would not opt to spend that free time in the mall.
It's a crazy shift once people move to Bali, that they prefer just not doing something like this. Because a lot of the times I get Australians who come to Bali and they want me to show them around, and they're like, oh, where's the nearest mall? I got to do this, and this, and all they want to do is that. But then they don't realize the beauty of like Indonesia, and specifically Bali, is that there's so much more to do that's more nature-based, really connecting with the earth, and being able to like give their kids a more earthly experience. Like, you remember back in the days when we were kids, that you could run around and like be left out till late and just come back, and there's like, you don't need to be watched, and you can just go play in the playground and whatnot.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. No, so if we've got free time, we definitely not driving with the family towards Denpasar or malls. That's just nothing. But that's not a culture we know from Germany as well. The Germans don't have a big mall culture, so to say.
Really?
No. The mall things is, I think, meanwhile we have malls, but it's nothing compared what you find worldwide.
Not like the US or Australia.
Exactly. So if we've got a weekend to spend, it's more, let's go snorkeling, let's go surfing here, let's drive up to the mountains, let's do something outside and spend time together.
So do you also get involved in any of the Bali Hindu activities, or maybe Muslim activities that brings the community together? Or even, like, for example, like, there's temples where you can do like the spiritual washes and whatnot.
Yes. So I think we need to explain to people from outside a little bit how many ceremonies the Balinese actually have. So it is a lot of ceremonies. It is everyone on the Balinese calendar, everyone has got every 6 months there's a birthday. Every month is, I think, 37 days. Counts for the temples as well. So It's like constantly going on, with ceremonies going on, and it's a good vibe. As expats, they're not closing it down. You're able to join and to witness. You're always welcome to participate there. But it is something that I do appreciate, but I cannot really relate to. It's nothing that we've got a temple here on the property. We've got a temple in our house. We're doing offerings. Offerings are little how do you say that in English, Chris? Huh? The offerings, the chanangs, like leaves and some flowers and just some
I think we just call it offerings.
A small appreciation to the world. Yeah, and that's a nice thing, you know, like it's the natural way of in Germany, the conservatives, when you're going to church and you light up a candle, in Bali you just take that little offering and place it with a dupa in front of your house, and so that's something that is part of our routine and culture in here, but we're not participating in the ceremonies of the community, of the local community in here. It's just we're living still in a parallel world, and it is not enclosed, but it just happens to be quite exhausting. And we have cool things here in Bali though, like the Silence Day Nyepi, where
Nyepi, we just had Nyepi, Silent Day.
Nyepi, it's a very unique thing where the whole island just shuts down, and then
crazy how quiet it became.
It's beautiful. I like it a lot. Nyepi is a good day, and the ceremonies before Nyepi are beautiful. With all they're building up statues every little village, and these are building the ogos, which are like huge statues from the books, like fantastic statues. Yes, and so days like that are an equal like Christmas for us in the Western culture.
It's definitely a good experience to observe, you know, as an outsider. And you know, the Balinese are very, very welcoming and very kind. Mike, tell me, moving to Bali, tell me some of the challenges that you had having to like pick up and go, as well as something that was like extremely challenging for you, but you found a way to overcome.
Well, I have to mention that we have been traveling quite a lot before. We kind of left Hamburg in 2013 already. Then we've been traveling Morocco, Central America, Spain, Portugal.
Wow.
15, we spent a lot of time in Portugal, South Africa, Asia.
I've been to Africa as well.
We've been used to traveling, and we've been used to different cultures as well. If I'm looking back, for me, one of the biggest challenges coming to Bali and coming to the Asian culture was adapting with how things are done in general, and it took me a year or so to adapt to really arrive in Bali. That there are just things that are Indonesian here, and that's not a bad thing or a good thing. It is just as is. You know, if you're coming to Germany, you will have German things, and they might annoy you. There are definitely German things that might annoy you, and here there were things that just were not working out, or people were not reliable. Just things where you're coming from a Western mindset, where like, why is this not working as planned, or is there a bad intention behind? Until I realized it is definitely not a bad intention. It's just like the way of living here, how things are done. You Indonesians are great. They're fixing everything. Like they can fix everything, but they don't fix it the German style. They will fix it the Indonesian style.
I guess it also has to do a lot with the language, because the way Indonesians think are different to the way the Germans think, and it's also different to the way Australians think. And my housemate had mentioned to me, you know, the reason why you know, the Indonesians think the way they think, it's simply because of the language. And he was like, well, here's an example, because he also knows how to speak German. He's not a German, but he's like, he notices with Germany, it's a very complex language. And so Germans are very deep thinkers, as compared to like Bali. It's a very simple language, not to be rude or crass or anything like this, Indonesia. but it sort of the communication style is completely different, and people wonder why are they so relaxed about things?
It's actually very interesting. Like I have never thought about that, but yeah, it really might be part of it. But that's the wonderful thing why many people are coming to Bali as well, and why we like it in Bali as well, because it's not overcomplicated. It's a good place to live life, you know, like and with meanwhile, I mean, it's crazy to look back to Europe and then you realize a bank transaction still takes 2 to 3 days to get things done. Oh yeah, I mean, in
I would
here,
have thought Germany would have been really fast. Wow.
no mate, and some things we still old school. So in
Okay.
here, if you're doing a transaction here and it's like instant on all kinds, or we've got Gojek with all the services offering, and it's just fantastic. So it's so convenient being here.
Well, I think so. For you, like for for those days where you work super hard and then you just don't have any time to even go out and like get the groceries and then cook. You just order a Gojek for $2, $3, maybe $10 at max to feed a family. It might even just cost you about $15, and it's quite amazing compared to like the other services where you get in Western countries. Completely different.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're still going out a lot. We're not cooking too much here in the house, but we've got, the Indian rentangs. Does the
Rendang? Yeah.
Rentang, yeah.
Oh,
so this
beautiful.
is how I'm going to get food for the family. We've got the rentang, which is like 4 pots on top. And then you just go out to one of the local rooms, get nasi campur or any other good stuff here. So we still eat a lot of local food. We love the local food here as well. Yeah.
Oh, how are you getting used to the spicy palate, or is that something that you're used to? You like it?
Oh, it's just a process. I think at the beginning we've been struggling for sure, but meanwhile it's something that's couldn't miss in your dish.
Oh, it's beautiful having that that sweat when the chili is like just right. If it's too much, it's like, oh god, I don't know if I can handle anymore. Because like I haven't had spice that is this level of spice anywhere else. Maybe I should have been trying some Indian food, but Indonesia, I tell you, can be some really, really hot dishes, and I'm pretty used to like hot.
They like it. They like it hot. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Mike, what's one, or what's some tips that you can, or advice that you could give people who are looking to maybe move or start to work remotely from Bali? Share us a little bit of your insight there.
Oh, see, Chris, I think it's about making decisions and follow up with those decisions. I hear from many people that they want to come out of the treadmill and do something new and something different. But in the end of the day, you need to realize it just depends on your own decisions, and you can get out of the 9 to 5 work life, or maybe not only the 9 to 5 work life, but generally, like if you're not feeling comfortable where you are and you would like to travel, just do it. Get rid of your car, get rid of the apartment, get some basic structure in the background, and just do it. Like there's no way why you shouldn't. And
oh, Mike, you there?
Check, Chris. Now you can hear.
Nice, beautiful. All right, we can continue on.
Oh, sorry for that.
Thank goodness it wasn't live.
Yeah. All right, you need to cut that. Sorry.
Yeah. So I might leave it in there for an ad break now.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely, no worries. Well, that's the thing we're handling here on the island. It's just like, oh well, we're crashing down.
No.
That's actually my hardware. I've got a problem since like 2 or 3 days with laptop here.
Yeah. Oh, what are you using? Are you? I assume you're a Windows user.
Oh, you could tell.
Well, you're 3D scans guy, and I'm like, you
Yes, I
seem
am a
like a
Windows
Windows.
user. That's
Yeah,
right. I am a
yeah.
Windows user. I mean, I don't mind using Apple or
Mac.
Windows.
Mm,
It's really nothing that
mm.
makes a huge difference in my life. But hey, yeah, shall we go back into it?
Yeah. So what was the last topic that we were talking
It's
about?
on. It's on. All right.
Yeah,
So
brilliant.
hopefully that doesn't happen again. Um, where have you been, mate? Decisions in life. Decisions in life to how to move on and get things done. Like if you're not happy where you are,
Mm,
then you need to make decisions to change that. Life is too precious not to change it and not to take the minor risk of experiencing something new or even like
oh,
failing. Like there are places on earth you don't like, you don't feel welcome. I have had situations where I've been in Morocco, for example, for a longer time, and there was a certain time where it's like, this is not where I want to live. I just need to move on. But that's the beauty of it. You just try around and until you find a good place, and
until you land at the right place. Yeah.
and you just meet the right people, meet the at the right time, at the right place. I think that all needs to come together. And I've been lucky enough to have my wife with me, so
Yeah.
that eases up,
Mm,
for sure. But I can only encourage people to do things, to
mm.
experience life. If
Take the risks. Yeah.
if you're not happy with the situation you're in,
Mm,
then you should just change it. And it's not easy. I get that.
mm.
To get like you've got certain things you've been doing for years and years and years and years. You've got your habits, you've got your routine, and change it is not easy. But it's worth it. It's absolutely worth it.
Yep.
Living on an island like Bali, where others are making their holidays, is quite a nice thing. I stopped doing social media after like a year or two when I've been here, because it was like there's no point of posting all of those pictures to the
For who?
public.
For what?
Yeah, and it's just like, I mean, it's crazy. It's just crazy what we're living here, what we're doing here. It's fantastic.
So, Mike, I have a question, right? I usually ask this question to people.
Go.
Um, yeah, tell me about your favorite childhood experience.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a good one. I think one of my favorite, the back in the days, camping, camping with the family. Like we've been going out doing camping stuff, going to lakes. My grandparents had one of those camper trailers actually, and
Yeah,
we
cool.
went out to go to the Baltic Sea, the Northern Sea, to lakes, to the Alps. It's just like being out in the nature. That's something. I if I look back to the even early childhood,
Mm.
that's something that was beautiful. I raised with two brothers. I've got an older brother, 2.5 years older, who's a doctor in Hamburg now, and I've got a younger
Wow.
brother who's 7 years younger. He's a web developer in Germany. So it was we always had a good time together. Yeah.
That's interesting. You both had all of you three had the same backgrounds, but you decided to be the risk taker and venture out into the world. I can understand, like, now that you're telling me your background in camping, it's like this makes sense why he likes to get a feel and take risks. But what do you think how did, like, what you do shape you compared to your brothers? I mean, obviously they had the same upbringing. What was it? What was that thing that made
Well,
it different for you?
it's just life, Chris. I mean, you just I think if you, even if you've got triplings and you put them all into the same situation, they will not be in the
All the
same,
same.
like for sure. Everyone kind of like have different influences, different people they meet, different passions, and you'll, if you follow that in a call, you'll just find somewhere where you kind of like find peace. Like that's the aim of life, is having fun and being being grounded and happy with what you are and what you're doing. So that's very, very important for everyone.
Nice, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so next question, right? This one's a really good one.
Sure.
Um, if you could go back in time and talk to your 11-year-old self, what's one skill or thing that you could tell them or tell yourself to focus on?
One skill only:
Yep,
be social.
be social.
Be social.
Yeah.
Be a good guy. Like that's. I think that if it, I believe in karma, and maybe as a German guy, it may be a hard or a strong word to say, but I believe
Yep.
in good things. If
Good things
you're
happen.
treating people good, you will receive good. So that's something I try to teach my kids as well. Like, just treat others like you want to be treated.
Be treated. I think it's really definitely a universal concept that that most people would gravitate to. So, all right, what's the next question? How do you see Bali, in the next 5 years in terms of the market?
It will constantly grow.
Yeah.
There is, sure, like if there's a Black Friday, no one knows what the macroeconomy is doing within the next 5 years.
Oh, you mean
But
like a black swan? Yeah.
yeah, Black Swan. But if you look back, what happened to Southeast Asia during the last 10 years, I see no reason why it should not continue.
Mm,
Maybe it's
mm,
slowing down a little bit, but what we see in Bali at the moment will continue. I'm
mm.
very sure that it will continue. Maybe the housing and land prices are not
What do you
increasing
think?
that much and that fast like they did in the
Mm,
last let's say 4 years, because we had COVID, and COVID prices during COVID, land prices were quite affordable.
mm,
Um, and now we had a quite huge increase towards that, but there's so much in the plans of the infrastructure that's coming to Bali right now. Huge developments, new roads, new talks of airports, undergrounds, trains, micro cities,
yeah.
um, and there's still so much room to grow. If you look, we've been talking about Gianyar area, Tabanan area,
Mm.
Bunduk, the whole north coast is beautiful, and there's a lot of room to grow for Bali.
If
Um,
you if you had to pick another spot in Bali that's not like the Kuta sort of greater Kuta area,
yeah.
up to Canggu, Peronan, if you had to pick another spot, where would you say would be a good hot spot to build and develop, or even pick and live?
Oh, wow, that's a difficult one. That's a really difficult one,
Mm,
because for us as a family, moving out up further the west coast means we are further away from infrastructure,
mm,
from schools, from hospitals, from like
gotcha.
anything regarding that. So especially the schools and commuting is a problem, and
Yep.
so I would prefer to stay uh, convenient here.
Within the
Yeah,
city.
I mean
Yeah.
it is definitely there's a beautiful school now up in Yanni, which is like near 30 minutes from us to drive, the pro education school. So that you've got in Tabanan there are coming new schools. You will have more schools on the Phuket. You will have more schools on the East
Mm,
Coast. But for the moment being, it would be a tough decision for us to leave the Brava, or the area we are living at. Um, but the upcoming areas obviously are is the West Coast, the Tabanan area, um, Munduk, Gianyar, East Coast. Yeah, those are, and see, if you're driving up to the Bukit, and you see how much space is still on the Bukit,
mm.
um, then there will be a lot of progress there as well. Like the Bingin area will explode the next 2 3 years. Bingin and Uluwatu area. It's there are many hotspots on the
Being
island actually.
being in an Uluwatu. Okay, cool, cool, cool. So, to sort of summarize what you were saying, as a family man, in in terms of like picking a place, moving is like definitely critical to stay in something that's that's localized, that has the amenities that you need. But in terms of like picking an area for an investment, somewhere like Bingen and in like Uluwatu would be good, because that way, if you need to move from one property to another, it's not too far out in terms of like the catch up
Well,
for
from
amenities.
a investment perspective, Chris, I would rather go to the areas that are not developed,
Mm,
because if you're going to Bingen, you had that price increase of real estate land already,
that's quite
so
expensive. Yeah.
it is quite expensive. Meanwhile, so
Mm,
if you want to look for if you want to invest, look for the areas that haven't had that surge in
growth.
price, and then
Mm.
we're talking about uh, the Tabanan area, we're talking about Munduk, we're talking about the East Coast. Ahmed, for example, is something that will be
I
on the
heard a
rise
lot of
for
people are
sure.
talking about Ahmed. Like the government's
Yeah,
really
yeah, yeah.
pushing Ahmed.
At the moment, I believe how we know Ahmed in 2 years, 3 years, it will be definitely different. There's so many people coming um, to that area at the moment, that
Oh, that's quite good.
there are a lot of opportunities on the island. That's the beautiful thing as well.
Oh,
You just look around, there are lots of opportunities
yeah,
for
you couldn't
everyone.
go wrong with most picks, really.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. All right, Mike, man, it has been amazing chatting with you. Now, did you want to, shout us a plug in terms of, what you do and what you can offer the first time viewers, as well as the ones who've been with us for a lot longer,
Um, you
or even a
like
collab?
Well, collabs are great. Yeah,
Mm,
just you've got. So I mean, what we haven't have touched more or less at all is what we are doing here in Bali as
mm,
a business. I think it's not really relevant in a conversational style.
like this,
I'd
yeah.
rather share all of that experiences we've been talking about
Mm,
than talking about
jumping
business
into,
stuff.
yeah.
So, but I think just as a wrap up, and I know you've got many followers
Mm,
that like Bali, would like to come to Bali, would like to
mm,
invest in Bali. I would
mm,
just point out that um, this is really a good place to be and to invest and to live, and
mm,
just come here, experience Bali. We've got so many opportunities. We've got good weather, good lifestyle. Um, yeah, it's something to embrace.
oh, definitely, definitely. All right, Mike, thank you so much for coming onto the podcast and sharing us all of these golden nuggets that can really help people make a decision whether they want to move to Bali or whether they want to stay longer. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for inviting me, Chris. Hope to be talking soon again. Yeah.